Hello, everybody. We've got lots of people in the chat, so thank you for joining us. Firstly, want to just say huge thank you to Shelley for kicking off our 80s themed charity festival. Oh,
sorry, that was me.
That was me for a minute. Yeah, thank you to Shelley for kicking off our festival this morning. If you didn't watch that, watch back because it was really good fun. Lots and lots of nostalgia, everybody remembering what they loved about the 80s. And we're going to be doing a little bit about that during our Cellar Ladies. We're going to be finding out what the Cellar Ladies were up to in the 80s and, talking about what our favourite things were and what we loved about it. So just dip into the chat quickly and say a couple of hellos. Oh, there's lots of you there. I don't know if this is the first person, but Nia is the first person I can see. So hello, Nia. Victoria Plum, Anything Vintage Reseller. San. Who else have we got? Dakota Zane. Laura. Lots and lots of people. Daryl, Sweat Mopper. Oh, Tom's in. Hi, Tom. And lots of people. So Queenie Conquest, hello everybody. I can't read out everyone's names. I'll be here forever, but thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone.
I just want to mention how fabulous does Kelly look?
Took me ages.
She's really gone to town. You look absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you. You like the makeup?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I got the mousse out and I tried really hard to make my hair go curlier, but I was saying before it just drops these days. I can't make it go curly at all. But I've got my gloves on, so and a little ring that I made ages ago out of Lego.
Oh.
So, I made a bit of an effort. I got my 80s t-shirt on.
You have.
So as you can see, we've got Kelly with us today and Karen with a fabulous bow in her hair, looking amazing, and Heather with a very special shirt on. Do you want to talk about that?
My shirt, my favourite shirt. Yes, I bought this in 1981, so it's just about in the 80s. It's Vivian, as if Lex is out there, she'll know. It's the squiggle pattern, and I'm wearing it with the belt that I also wore.
I'm going to zoom in on you, Kelly. I'm not Kelly, Heather, sorry. There we go.
Got the belt on, proper big pirate shirt with a Mahusi sleeves. It was bigger on me when I was younger because I was a little less of me than there is now. But I still love it and I never want to get rid of it. So
very, very cool.
Favourite thing from the 80s, absolutely.
Love that. So if you don't already know, we're doing a festival over the weekend of like a reseller YouTube festival, which we're loosely theming 80s. Lots and lots of people are taking part throughout the weekend, right up to Monday evening. There's a lineup that's posted on our Facebook page and also on my Instagram. So if you want to go and have a look, see if any of your favourite YouTubers are taking part and if there's any shows that you want to watch over the weekend, that's the place to go and have a look. And it's all in aid of the British Red Cross coronavirus response. Just below in the description box, there is a link to our Just Giving page. We hoped that we would raise £1,000 and amazingly, we have beaten that already, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we're absolutely thrilled about that, but there's still lots more time of the weekend to go. And if you haven't already donated and you can spare something, then, please donate and that would be great. So on with the show.
On with the show.
So we thought we would do like a guess the Cellar Ladies, guess the 80s Cellar Ladies. So I'm going to endeavour to screen share some photos. I'm going to show one photo at a time, and we all know who these people are because we've seen the photos already. So the people in the chat, it's up to you to see if you can guess which Cellar Lady this is. And it might not be somebody that's in the chat that's on Cellar Ladies today. It might be somebody who's been on Cellar Ladies before. So let me find the first one and then see who you think this is. So there you go. That's Cellar Lady number 1 in 1980 something. There's always a delay in the chat, so we'll have to wait and see who comes up with it first.
They look very tall.
They do, yeah.
There's a lot of attitude in that shot, I have to say.
There is, isn't there? It's a very good picture.
Bit of a clue.
Okay, so who have we've got so far guesses of Heather.
Those pants have got pockets, Lex, I think. It looks like it anyway.
Everyone loves a pocket. So we've got Heather, Kelly, Karen, Shelley. It's very wide ranging. Okay, so does the Cellar Lady in question want to reveal themselves? You know, not literally, but
yeah, that's me, and that is in Tenby, Victoria. She guessed where it was. It is in Tenby.
Wow.
How did you guess that from that picture?
I think it's because of the buildings in the background. They're a bit like Ballamore, all different colours.
Really?
Used to love going to Tenby as a kid.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to have to set the other one up now. Hang on a minute.
I've got to say, I've got some cracking photos of me in the 80s, but they're all at my mum's, and they're all buried in one of her bedroom cupboards or something, so she couldn't get any out for me to go through. Because back in the day, you couldn't delete your photos, could you? You just took photos and you had to deal with whatever you got. So she never threw any away. So we've got some right random photos at my mum's house, which are the best ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. The ones that are, you know, just really obscure, like not completely posed, and yeah, they're good memories. Right, okay, this is number 2. So who do you think this is? I think you can tell straight away. Let's see. Very
that smile, those eyes.
Cheeky.
Very, very cute picture.
Extremely cute
What
there.
people come up with. Oh, Victoria Plum says you used to have to send the film to True Print. Yeah, I remember doing that. And then waiting.
You used to have to send them to Boots. Used to send them to Boots, and when I had a Saturday job in Boots, we used to curl up laughing because we'd see them all come through. We just laugh at them. It's terrible, isn't it, really? But there you go.
Why do people think that's me? That looks, for starters, I wasn't blonde. I've never been blonde.
Okay, well, James Moore thinks it's me. It's not me. Then who else have we got? Alison thinks Karen. Lots for Karen. Victoria Plum thinks Lex. Yeah, Leanne thinks it's you, Karen. Well, I can reveal it is actually Karen, and I think if you look really closely, you can see that.
It's the cheeky smile.
Yeah, very
so
cute.
Aren't she?
Yeah. Oh, Kirsten thought it was Carla.
Oh,
Kirsten. Okay.
I'm the same as you, Kelly. My mum's got this album at home, which is brilliant, of pictures of us in the 80s, and there's some brilliant pictures in there. There's one of me holding my Gordon the Gopher activity pack that I got for Christmas that I was so happy about because I just loved Philip Schofield. And it had a big picture of him on the front. So. And there's another one.
My mum's got one I wanted to get my hands on, but she couldn't remember where it was. It used to be on the wall, and I'm sure she took it back after the day. It's for a school photo. I've got a leopard print trouser suit on with a long jacket and all my hair crimped, and it was just so 80s.
Yeah.
wow.
I was going to say the other picture is me with my hair all crimped at my birthday party, which was at the Wimpy. And I've got like
Lincoln parties.
I've got like an all-in-one dress that looks like a jacket with a shirt underneath, but it's actually a dress. And I've got like a side ponytail.
Excellent. Okay, number 3 is a very glamorous one. So who do we think that is? It seems obvious to me now, but you know. Yeah. There seems to be no doubt about that.
There's no denying that's Heather. She still looks the same.
I know, you do. You still look the same. Yeah.
About 40 years older, actually, nearly 40 years older.
That's definitely
No, because that was 1981, so I would have been 18, and I'm going to be 57 at the end of this month. So yeah, 40 years nearly. Shit, different colour hair though.
James Moore's just going to say me forever, so that you know, eventually he's right.
Eventually, yeah.
Oh, Nick says, I remember birthday parties at McDonald's being a really big deal. Yeah. And it was always so exciting. Yeah, I was just reading the comments. Bluegrass Picker says, have a great day, resellers. Great live. I have so many photos of me with spiked, shaved sides, curly, long hair, mullet.
Yeah.
That's an image, isn't it?
And where did that come from? Was it Jason Donovan who first had that hairstyle, and then everyone started getting it?
Maybe. Could have
I don't know
been.
if he was the first, but
Footballers, quite a lot of footballers had them, didn't they?
yeah.
Yeah, but it come from, and then everybody had it, didn't they? And it was long in the back and short up top.
Okay, here's the next one. Let's see who do you think this is?
Yeah.
Someone who's a messy eater.
Good sunglasses.
I haven't seen this, but I could tell straight away who it is.
Yeah.
Fabulous glasses.
I know.
Very good. Very curly.
I've had a pair of glasses like that now, I have to say. Yeah,
Very
everyone's
Elton John.
saying me, apart from Becca, who thought it was Lex. Oh no, Gemma Lee thought it was Shelley. Yeah. The consensus seems to be me, and the mouth says Andrea, what, with ice cream all over it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm quite impressed with my style back then.
Yeah. Well,
You know.
sort of knitted Nana cardigan there. Lovely. Nothing changes. We all wear the same.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's see who else we can find. No, hang on, not share screen yet. Picture. Now I understand how hard it is when Nick's trying to do this.
Gives you an insight, yeah.
Too many buttons to press. Okay, who's next? Right, I couldn't find the first picture this person sent me, so I've used this one. And I don't know why. I don't think I saved the first one. So let's go with this. And it's the person in the background. So it's not the person having, blown out the candles. It's the person clapping in the background.
The person behind going, I'd quite like that cake.
And I have to say, I'd quite like that top.
Oh, here come the guesses.
Oh, James Moore thinks Carla. Yeah, Becca thinks Carla as well. Queenie thinks Karin.
Okay.
Christine thinks Caroline. I'm not sure if Caroline ever owned a My Little Pony top. Yeah, Nana Tink Treasures thinks Karin. Stall thinks Carla. Oh, a lot of people think Carla. Interesting. Sarah thinks Karin. Lisa thinks Karin. So, do you want to reveal who you are?
It was me. That really does look like me. The one I sent you before, I can show you now. I don't think that looks as much like me.
All right, let me zoom in on you. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that.
Well, it does look like you, but the other one looks more like you now.
Yeah, I'm younger there. I think I was about 4 there, whereas that one, I think I'm about 7 or 8. It's a My Little Pony dress.
Oh, it's a dress.
Yeah.
It's really, really cute. I like that.
But you were upset when you grew out of that one.
I had a Care Bears one as well, which I absolutely loved.
Goes without saying.
Okay, I think I've got at least one more. So let's see. It's obviously now somebody that's not in the chat.
It was the dimples, yeah.
Oh no, I've got 2 more, I think.
Ooh.
Right. Let's go with this one. See, this I think this one's a tricky one. Right, who do you think that is? That's a great picture.
It's
See, I thought it was like 2 people.
That hair is
I
so
think 2
right.
people will get mentioned. It's Nick.
Nick in the dress, that's cool.
Oh, they've all come in at once.
It's a lot of different ones.
Yeah.
Someone's getting in.
Shelley, Auntie Sue, Heather. We've had Heather. Sue.
Steve.
Some very breakfast club, Louise says.
Yeah, Z without the beard, yeah.
We actually had the right answer yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but doesn't Mandy know already?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Mm.
Oh, I don't know. It depends which chat group she put it in. Because Mandy's not in the Cellar Ladies.
No, I think she put it in the main one.
No, she put it in the other one.
People are guessing right now anyway.
So that kind of gave it away. So yeah, it is our Sam, who was going to join us today, but she's not feeling very well. So get well
Sam,
soon.
reselling Polly.
Yes,
Yeah.
reselling Polly. We miss you today. Okay, I definitely
I think she looked like Louise as well.
I definitely have one more. I've left it to last because I think it's really obvious, but it's a great picture. So let's find it. Here it is. It's just a fabulous picture. I love this. There you go.
Here we go. Oh, it's just so glamorous.
So glamorous. Everyone will get there straight away, surely.
The power dressing shoulder pads are in there.
Mm.
Oh, a few people have said like Carla, Lex.
Lex.
Definitely not Lex. Yeah, James says Auntie Sue, 100%.
Yeah,
It is. It is our very glamorous Auntie Sue.
it is.
Okay. So, what else did I put we were going to talk about?
I've got photographic evidence which someone requested earlier of me of me actually in this shirt in 1981, just to prove that it's a genuine article. I'll cover up the bloke because he didn't last anywhere near as long as the shirt. That was me then.
Yeah, I don't think you've changed very much, Heather.
I've had a few different haircuts in between, but I've just gone back to type, really. Yeah.
Yeah, gorgeous. So, What was your favourite thing about the 80s? I'll start with you, Heather.
Oh God, I love the whole thing. I mean, I was at university from 81 to 85, and that was just the best ever because I was in Leeds. I'd lived down south all my life. I'd never been north of the Watford Gap. So for me, it was amazing to go there. Loved the place, loved the university, but I got really involved with the music scene, and they had all the best bands there. And although I love the later 80s for different reasons, because I was party central, it has to be said. That sort of early stage of, it was when the young ones came out. I think we were discussing on Shelley's channel this morning, I was a student when that came out. So it wasn't ironic, it was actually reality, with a bunch of about 20 people crammed in watching a tiny black and white television to watch it on a Friday night, because that was the only way you get to see it. Not everyone had a telly. So it was a lot of fun, great fun times. I burnt the candle at every which end. And rocking in, I was doing a zoology degree, so I wasn't sort of rocking up to sort of have the odd lecture. I had full days, and sometimes I would literally go in and what I'd been wearing the night before because I'd just crashed on someone's floor, and then I'd go in full regalia and sit and do lectures. I wasn't the average scientist. So it was hilarious and it was fun.
So did you go on to use your zoologist degree?
Not really, no. Always loved it academically. But I didn't want to stay in the academic world. When I finished my degree, I really kind of thought I ought to get out and earn a living. And contrary to the belief that you work in a zoo if you have a zoology degree, nope. It was just when everything went, the economy took a downturn. And so you just had to get any job that was going. So I travelled around the country selling heraldic shields or coats of arms of names for a while. I did lots of mad jobs, stupid jobs, but,
Yeah. I was just laughing at Sue's answer to that, a flat stomach. Sarah wants to know, were you ever a model, Heather?
Nearly, but I sort of backed out. It was one of those in-between jobs when I'd finished my degree, and someone said, "Oh, you should do this, and come along and try this out." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." The only problem is they want you to stand there, look like a hanger. You're not actually meant to have any thoughts. Mm-hmm. Didn't work for me. I literally 6 weeks, and I'm like, I can't do this. This is just crap. So no, and I'm not. I'm not that sort of looking model, am I? Really? Wasn't a Kate Moss or anything. Not that she was around at that time. But it was fun for a bit, but my God, I wouldn't want to do that for a living.
No, because you're not really a person, are you? You'd literally just
do this, do that, stand here, don't eat, don't sweat, don't breathe, wear clothes that are hideous when you could be wearing something nice. No.
James says, zoology, if you've got an ology, you're a scientist. Can you remember that TV advert?
That was Maureen Lipman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that BT? When she was sat on the stairs and she went, an ology? You've got an ology?
I think you had 1 O level, which is GCSEs, whatever it is now. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. Oh, Victoria Plum was going to marry Jason. So was I. Yeah.
That wouldn't have ended well.
I was going to marry George Michael.
I like Queenie Contest there. She said, why didn't I do zoology at Leeds? I did business studies, well, sort of, and mainly went to clubs and gigs, which is exactly what I did as well. A lot of clubbing, a lot of gigs.
Yeah. Okay, so Karen, what was your favourite thing about the 80s?
Well, in 1985, my life went from very, very small to very, very big because we moved back to England from Germany in 1985. And before that, used to get about 6 hours of television, BFBS, which was British Forces Television. So you got like 3 hours in the middle of the day and like 3 hours at night, and that was it. So TV was just not on my radar at all until we moved to England. And then I was just like, it was like, wow. And Top of the Pops as well. I'd never seen Top of the Pops. And yeah, my life just changed completely. It was brilliant.
Yeah, bit of a culture shock.
Yeah.
How old
definitely.
was you then, Karen?
I was nearly 6.
Yeah.
And the weird thing was that when we moved here and I went to school, I was the only person in my class that could read and write, because they hadn't taught the children yet to read and write, whereas I had already learned at kindergarten. And I was like I had dual nationality, but I could speak German and English. But I got the mick taken out of me so much for speaking German that I just refused to speak it anymore. And it's a big regret of mine. Me and my dad used to speak German to each other all the time. And then I kept saying, no, I'm not speaking it anymore because everyone's being horrible to me at school. So, yeah, I wish I'd kept that up, really.
So is your dad German, or was he in the forces?
No, he was in the army, and then he worked in Germany as well, because my parents lived there for a few years, because they moved there after they got married in the early 70s, so they were there for like 15 years. So my dad worked in Germany as well, so he spoke fluent German.
Right. Yeah. My mum was born in Germany as well, when my granddad was living there with the RAF.
Yeah.
Indichick Louise says, did we have any posters on our bedroom walls? And if so, who did we have? Who wants to answer that first?
I had some odd ones. Boris Becker. I've always liked gingers. Boris Becker. Who else? Mick Hucknall, he was also ginger. Loads of Michael Jackson. Loved Michael Jackson in the 80s.
Yeah. So what about you, Heather? Did you have any posters on your walls?
Well, before I went off to university, I did, and I had things like I had an old David Bowie one that I kept because I loved it. Though he was more from the 70s era then. I had Adam and the Ants, Bow Wow Wow, and I think I sort of had a couple of posters a bit later on of things like the Human League and that. But I mean, they were more for decoration. When I went to university, you couldn't really put your stuff up. So not so much.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to spend hours looking through them poster things that you used to get in the shops.
Yeah.
Athena posters, they were.
Yeah, Athena.
Yeah. Totally forgot about that until you just said that, Eva.
Yeah, because when I worked in WH Smith's, they had a big poster section as well. I ran the record department for a bit before I went off to uni, which was quite fun, as we've had that conversation about working in record shops. But they did also have one of those racks with the clacky poster things. Yeah.
Yeah, part of my job at our price was filling up the posters or refreshing them, so you'd get a whole load of new posters in and they'd have the new numbers on, and you'd have to, take out the old ones, put all the new ones in. That was good fun. Did you have any posters up, Karen?
Probably not in the 80s. I think I had a Pierrot bedroom, so I had all like Pierrot stuff and like picture and stuff. I don't know if New Kids on the Block started in the 80s. It might have been late 80s. I loved New Kids on the Block, and I used to get a like monthly magazine that was full of posters of them. So in the end, one of my whole big walls was just full of New Kids on the Block posters.
Yeah, that was what, 89, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I had a couple of theirs at the time. Yeah. When I was really small, my mum decorated my room, and I was told I wasn't allowed to have any posters up. And then one day I came home from school and she'd put up a massive Culture Club poster. And she said that was my one poster I was allowed because they were my favourite band at the time. And I remember being thrilled about that. But I got round it because I used to put them on my wardrobe because that didn't make any damage to the paper.
Yeah.
So I ended up with like Madonna, Linda Carlisle, because I was obsessed with her, and of course Wham and George Michael and stuff. Yeah. But I used to cut them out from magazines. Did you do that as well?
Mm-hmm.
Like specifically go out and buy posters. I just used to take them out of the magazines and refresh it every week.
Yeah, sometimes you get them in vinyl as well. You get a poster that came with the vinyl and you can put that up. And yes, I did that. Still got the vinyl.
So my next question was,
I don't think
I
Kelly.
haven't asked
Yeah.
Kelly, what did you, what's your favourite thing about the 80s?
Definitely being a kid in the 80s. I was born in 76, so most of my young kidhood was in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. I've spoke before. I loved the community that I had when I was a kid. I had loads of friends. And one memory that sticks out is how I used to all go around each other's houses all the time, and the families and things. And one of the families on the estate managed to get a pirate copy of E.T. and all the kids went round into the living room. There was about 30 kids all watching E.T. on pirate VHS.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, we had a little party. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, my granddad worked for CBS, and he worked in security, in the security section, and one of his jobs was to prosecute people that pirated stuff. So he used to go around and seize, like do like dawn raids or whatever, and seize videos and whatever from people that were pirating them or trying to sell them on. So interestingly, the first time I ever saw E.T. was on a pirate copy VHS. He was seizing them, and then we were watching them at home.
Oh, naughty.
Okay, so next question. What do you miss about the 80s, and what would you bring back? So I'll start with Karin.
I've got really fond memories of my grandparents from the 80s, before they retired and moved to Portugal in 1988. Before that, we had like 3 years between 85 and 88 where we just saw them all the time. Used to go around, the weekends, go around for tea. My granddad was just loved hearing stories from my granddad, and they both used to grow roses, so both their front and back garden was absolutely full of so many different types of roses. That was their hobby. And I just really miss that, and I wish they'd both been around longer than they were, because they're just really lovely memories I've got.
Yeah, definitely. What about for you, Heather?
Because I've been looking at these old pictures, and because my parents obviously are much older and they're having clear outs of stuff, I'm now getting all those pictures that I never had sight of as a child. There's pictures of me I'd never seen, like that one at the beginning that you showed me. I'd never seen that. I'm like, bloody hell. Okay, I used to hate having my photo taken because I thought I didn't photograph well. So I thought, well, that one wasn't that horrific. Anyway, what I miss about it is more likely to be, it's things like my nan, my lovely nan, and my mum, of course, who died in 76. So, that sort of thing. It would have been so nice if they'd been around, later on, because, you need your family. You need to be able to talk to them and ask their opinion, ignore their advice, obviously, but at least have someone to bounce ideas off. And that's something that I miss about that time. It would have been nice to have it.
Yeah. How about you, Kelly?
I've got to say it's big hair. I miss the big hair of the 80s. I've been looking for some inspiration, and the hair was fabulous.
Well, you brought it back for us today.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I love it. I wish I could get my hair like that.
Yeah, big hair in the 80s. Oh, all the rockers with it, like I say, with the short hair at the front and dead long at the back, all that. Yeah. Amazing. What about you? What would you do, Andrea? What would you bring back? Because we're not hearing much from yours.
Well, I think it would be the same. All my best memories of the 80s are being with my grandparents as well. So yeah, I'd love to just revisit that time and just remember being so happy with them, just spending time with them. And I don't know, nothing specific, just that whole feeling of that decade of
Sorry.
Karin, go on.
I was just going to say, the thing that I'd bring back was, does anyone remember? I think they were KP. They were crisps, and they had 2 monks on the front of the packet. Does anyone remember them? And they were absolutely delicious.
No, Oh,
No.
Dan, they're KP crisp, but I'm not sure if they are. I can remember eating them at my nan's house and just loving them, and that was the only time I got them. If anyone can remember in the chat, they had a picture of 2 monks on the front of the crisp packet.
I can remember us in the 80s, our family, we was very much like the royal family. We all used to sit around and watch TV programmes together, and we'd go to someone's house to watch a programme on TV. Or Dallas or something like that. It would be a big thing, and that would be your night out, going to somebody's house to watch something that was on the telly. And of course, I was the youngest, so I was the remote control. I had to get up and turn it over all the time. But yeah, just things like that, just doing things. I can remember loads of family parties with buffets and all the classic buffet food, and
Yeah, the prawn ring
yeah.
and the crab sticks.
And I was trying to remember the dance that we used to do. I can't remember what it's called, but you always used to sit on the floor and do that. Can you remember what that was?
Oops, upside your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And then you swing from side to side.
Yeah.
That happened at my sister's wedding
Yeah.
not that long ago.
it's a classic. It's a classic.
Yeah, love that. Just discos in general.
Yeah.
Louise said Friars crisps.
Ah, of course. If they have 2 monks on the front, that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. I miss discos and dancing. I could dance non-stop forever, and I would do it now. I haven't lost that wish to. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. James just said something that I was thinking of when you were talking about that, Kelly, that we all used to watch the same thing. So that's why we watched things together. We didn't all split off into separate spaces.
We didn't have much choice, did you? You only had 3 channels at one point.
Yeah, and we'd all be, talking with the neighbours about what happened on EastEnders last night, or,
Yeah.
just using that as an example. But yeah,
Like the Who Shot JR thing was massive, wasn't it?
It really was. Jojo says, who remembers the Birdie song?
It was embarrassing now.
Love
Sort of
that.
thing then they get up and dance to. Like, oh, no.
If I was at a party and that was on, I'd be straight up doing that. That and all the black lace stuff, like Agadoo.
I was off the dance floor when that came in. It was like, oh no.
It was KP crisps.
It was.
It was, yeah. There's the advert. They're showing the advert with the monks.
Oh,
Yeah, and Dirty Dan being shot by a bunch of daffodils.
yeah, I was just reading that.
And the Christmas special when Anne said she was going to.
Divorce.
Oh, that was classic, wasn't it? That was the really only time I used to watch EastEnders for those first few years, and then it just got all a bit grim, and I thought, no way. But yeah, it was fun in them days.
But they're still trying to find that peak, aren't they? They're still trying to find that sort of magic that they had.
Yeah, it's because it was new. It's because no one had done it. Whereas now, everyone in that square has basically slept with everybody else and
shot each other.
Yeah, it's just give over.
Yeah. So, what was your favourite 80s music? Did I ask you that? Oh, I did ask you the last question. Yes, did. What was your favourite 80s music and or artist or band? And we'll start with Kelly.
Oh, I haven't wrote one down for this.
Oh.
Definitely Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson. Madonna. Duran Duran. All the classics, really. All the classics from the 80s. How can you not love them? Still love them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one in particular, just the old all the top chart toppers from the 80s.
I've got a feeling you'll be different, Heather.
Probably not desperately so. I mean, I loved, obviously everyone knows I liked the Ants, that's kind of a given, but I mean I loved anything I could dance to anyway, which was practically everything. But I love things, you know, Susie and the Banshees and The Cure and Joy Division, and I loved all of that. But really, I like most things. There isn't that much I really can't bear. So yeah, just anything that's a real show. And you know, going to gigs is a bit different because some people are really good on telly, if you like, but their actual live gigs don't have the same atmosphere, whereas other people are good on telly, but my God, you go to a live gig and you're blown away by it. That was the sort of thing I liked. Yeah.
You were telling us before that you saw Wham in 1981. It
might have been 81. It was in the very early days. Yeah. When I was at Leeds University, I was part of the music, what they called ENTS, entertainments. And we had a certain chap called Andy Kershaw, who ran it. Now he's now well known, sort of, but anyway, back in those days he had a couple of spots, bless him, but managed to get some of the best bands ever to come and play at Leeds. So we had a whale of a time. When we had Wham come in, it was, I mean, they were a bit of fun. They weren't considered cool at any stage in their career back then, but they were, you know, they were dancing around on stage and did the thing with the shuttlecock, which literally would get a shuttlecock, put it down the shorts, because they were wearing very tiny shorts, and then kind of fling it out to the audience. Thankfully, I was up on a balcony and well out of the way of any of that. But yeah, a lot of fun, and all the classic tracks, of course. Yeah, good fun. They were very bouncy, I think is the best way to describe Wham in those days. Yeah,
I mean, I started off the 80s loving ABBA because I just loved them since I was pretty much born. They were just always played in the car, in the house, everywhere. And then when they split up, I just didn't know what to do with myself. I found Culture Club for a while, and then Wham came along, and just absolutely loved Wham and Madonna, and then Michael Jackson. So interestingly, it wasn't Michael Jackson first, and also interestingly, it was the Jacksons before Michael Jackson, because my granddad would bring home big boxes of records for everyone to flick through and just take, because, you know, he got loads of promotional stuff. So as a family, we'd just sort of look through and take out something we fancied. And I found 2 Jacksons albums. I think it was Destiny and Triumph. And I played them to death. And I hadn't heard of Michael Jackson at this point. And it was before Thriller came out. So, yeah. It was always
quite late coming to music, because my mum never really listened to music in the house. We didn't really have the radio on much. And I've said before, I've got older brothers. They was all into ska and that sort of thing. So ska music, and that's all I used to hear at home mostly.
Yeah, see, I was brought up on Elvis Presley. I still know every single word to every single song, because my diminutive mother was probably the biggest little fan he ever had. So,
yeah, my mum had like a massive almost 3D, it was like a sort of stuck out like poster of Elvis, so his face was all 3D up on the wall.
I hope that was in his younger days when he was good looking.
Yeah, he was massive fan of Elvis and the Beatles and Motown. So yeah. There was never a moment there wasn't any music on anywhere in my house or my grandparents' house. You woke up in the morning, there was a radio on in the bathroom, so you're brushing your teeth to the radio. Downstairs, you know, it was just music everywhere all the time. What about you?
Someone keeps asking what your shirt says. I don't know who's got. It must be you, Andrea.
It's got my heart there. 80s.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to wear, but then you can't really see it, can you?
See the heart. I heart.
Oh. Can I just say as well? Can I just say something else as well? Barry's just coming from work and he don't know I'm dressed up, so he's going to go shopping.
Oh wow!
Oh, brilliant.
He's got no idea that I've dressed up.
You'd be wondering what the occasion is. Like.
Yeah, so Karen, your turn. What was your favourite music?
I liked Madonna and Michael Jackson as well, and I liked Queen and Whitney Houston. Basically, I liked anything that my mum wasn't the best, because my mum loved Aha and Wham and who sung Rio? I've forgotten the name.
Duran Duran.
Duran Duran was her favourite, and all of them. So because my mum liked them, I was like, oh, it's not cool that I like them. So I tried to find other stuff that I liked. I always liked Whitney though.
Yeah. Oh, massive fan of Whitney. Yeah. Loved her. Yeah.
Everyone's saying get Barry so because hear his reaction. Yeah. He won't come in. I try and get him to the top of the stairs.
Okay. So Leah says that she used to listen to her big sister's Aha records when she was in school.
Yeah, sounds pretty Kate Bush there.
Jackson.
I love Kate Bush.
We had like a sound system thing, and the speakers weighed an absolute ton. They were like surrounded by wood. And they were so high.
Hang on. I'll go zoom in on Kelly.
Like it.
That does. We got out.
No, unfortunately.
You better take you out now.
Oh, brilliant.
He says, "Are we going out?"
You should be.
Well, a
Wow.
party in the garden.
Yeah.
Lainey says, I loved so much of the 80s. The only thing I really didn't like was the Smiths.
Love the Smiths.
Then underneath, Louise says, favourite bands were the Smiths, Aha, The Cure and Barry.
Yeah, the problem with the Smiths was Marshall had a beautiful voice, but he's such an arse. And he'd only ever come on and he'd do the absolute minimum. He'd literally do 40 minutes or whatever, and then they'd be off. The shortest sets in the world.
Sue says Cyndi Lauper. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's jumped now. I think.
Oh, Erasure. I've still got their vinyl, Nick. Still got Erasure vinyl and Human League and The Jam and just countless weird and wonderful bits and pieces I picked up.
Karen says Duran Duran. And
Wow.
I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, Aerosmith. Very good.
Oh, yeah.
I think
I'm
Mum.
the same then as I am now. I've got such an eclectic taste. I couldn't tell you that I liked any particular genre of music. I just like music that makes me feel good. I can't really pinpoint it at all. It's probably because I was bombarded with so many different tastes and genres from all my family, because we lived with my grandparents when I was little, and my uncles are younger, so they lived at home. So there was always different music coming from their room. Like they were into like prog rock bands and all kinds of stuff. So I love Genesis as much as I love Madonna.
It's a bit the same in our house as well, because when my father remarried, there were basically 4 teenagers plus the 2 adults. So my father liked sort of big band, swing, jazz music, bizarrely for someone who's far too young for that. My stepmother liked country. My sister liked Motown and ABBA. My stepsister would listen to Bread and the Eagles and all that kind of West Coast stuff. My stepbrother would listen to AC/DC and Santana. And I had to play the Ants just to get a big enough drum sound to drown the rest of them out so I could concentrate.
Yeah. Oh, and ELO, yeah. Oh, loved ELO. Yes, Cherokee says Prince was cool. We haven't mentioned Prince, and Prince was just absolutely incredible. But I remember really liking Prince, and my mum used to say I couldn't listen to his music because he was too raunchy. So I used to go around to a friend's house to listen to Purple Rain.
And Blondie and the Pretenders, again, two favourites of mine. I saw her about a year ago, Blondie. She's still a powerhouse. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's incredible. Okay, we're very near. I know, you keep reminding me. Go away.
On the time schedule here.
Okay, favourite movies or TV? Or we could be here a while, couldn't we? Let's just have a quick fire. Favourite movie or TV?
Goonies.
Yeah.
Goonies, definitely. One of my favourites, that is. Bugsy Malone.
Yeah.
All the classic kid movies.
Anyone else?
Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, and Mannequin was my absolute fave. Mannequin. Andrew McCarthy, loved him.
Oh yeah.
Blade
So
Runner.
we've got to mention St Elmo's Fire then.
Mhm.
Talking Andrew McCarthy.
Blade Runner and Beetlejuice.
Yeah. And Breakfast Club is my ultimate. Yeah. St Elmo's Fire is still my feel good film. So if I'm, not feeling very well or whatever, I put it on. It's like my comfort film.
Oh.
It's just said there's nothing straight after this, so keep going.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to if people want to.
All right, okay.
Unless you've all got places to be.
No, I'm not. I'm fine.
All dressed up,
I've got a dentist appointment. I've got a dentist appointment at 4:20. No, I haven't.
Yeah, I won't be mooching around the charity shops today. No,
Lost Boys. I like The Lost Boys. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
Film.
That was a really good film. Yeah. Okay, favourite fashion. Did you have a particular favourite fashion in the 80s? Karen, start with you.
I always wanted a rah-rah skirt, and I did actually get one for my birthday, and I absolutely loved it. It had the petticoats. I had do you remember the plastic belt, the big wide belt? I had that. And then me and my sister had a fight. My dad was a chef in a hotel, and we used to stay in at the weekends. We'd have to stay at the hotel while my parents were both working, and we used to have pepper fights. And whatever was in the stockroom, we'd have fights with. And we had a paint fight, and it got covered in paint, and I was absolutely devastated. And I hate pepper to this day, and I don't like Coca-Cola because my sister stuck my head under Coca-Cola tap behind the bar, and I nearly drowned in Coca-Cola. So I don't drink Coke, and I don't like pepper.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but
I inhaled loads of pepper because we had a pepper fight.
Oh God, put you off for life. Oh, Heather, what about you? What sort of fashion did you enjoy in the 80s? Apart from Vivienne Westwood, of course.
well, Vivienne Westwood and the new romantic style, as it was, the pirate style. But I tended to go more slightly to the goth way. I did tend to wear more black, just because I liked it. I'd either wear very bright colours or black, and I still do the same. But it's things with a story, a bit of a romantic edge to them, a bit different, really. I just didn't want to wear what everyone else was wearing, and I'm just awkward like that. Still am.
How about you, Kelly?
I've said before, my mum was a machinist, so she used to make loads of my clothes when I was a kid. And puffball skirts, rah-rah skirts, them sort of things. She always used to make me matching outfits when we went on holiday and all sorts.
Oh, wow.
But one of my favourite memories is she used to make knockoff Adidas style T-shirts and sell them.
Ooh.
Sell them to all my brother's mates. They used to put their orders in, and they were made out of like a wet look material, and they had the stripes down their arms. But obviously, they weren't Adidas. They weren't proper Adidas. It was just in the style of Adidas.
Adidas.
Yeah,
Style of. That's all those keywords now, isn't it? In the style of.
style of. Yeah.
Inspired.
Yes. I'm trying to think if there's anything specific, but I was doing a lot of baton twirling at the time, so I think I just lived in leggings and t-shirts and little short skirts over my leggings, and not a lot's changed really.
Yeah. I do remember the deep joy when they finally managed to get jeans that had stretch in them. That was like the best thing ever, because obviously up until that point you kind of had to try and find a pair that fit you, but as soon as they got some stretch in, it was like, oh, thank God, something that actually fits and hasn't got a bucket waist. And yeah, it was a big thing for me at the time.
I can remember my friend's sister trying to shrink her jeans in the bath. To get in the bath with your jeans on to try and shrink them.
Yeah, there was a Levi's advert like that, wasn't there?
There was.
Sat in the bath. Yeah.
Oh, that Levi's advert in the laundrette. You remember that?
Yes. What was it? Oh,
Nick
I can't remember
Cayman.
the song for it. Yeah.
what did you say?
Nick Cayman.
Cayman, yes. And then he released a song and dated Madonna, and
And then it all went wrong.
no, but you just reminded me actually that I used to really want to wear skinny jeans and I couldn't get in them. I've never had slim legs. I've always had quite chunky legs. And I remember my aunt took me shopping and she bought me a pair of skinny jeans that actually fit me and a bat wing jumper. And I thought I was the bee's knees. It was a bat wing jumper with a sort of when the collar was like diagonal. So does that make sense?
Like a slash collar.
Yeah, like a slash collar. It was really cool.
Shoulder.
I loved that so much. My mum was hating it because I think she just didn't want me to have a pair of jeans. But yeah, so thank you to my aunt for that. But the trouble was they were so skinny that I literally had to get somebody to help me get them off every night.
Shoehorn.
Get them off.
When you had to lay down on the bed and sort of backwards and breathe in.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So let's talk fashion faux pas. Have you ever had any fashion faux pas of things that make you cringe looking back that you wore?
Oh, stonewash denim.
Oh,
Don't do it.
that's come back. Stonewash denim.
No.
Still wearing it. Karen was nodding away. What were you thinking?
I'm so glad that the photographic evidence has been lost now. But at one point, I collected key rings, and I used to wear them all on my jeans belt loop. And I had one of those awful ski jackets that had like pink armpits. And I just thought I looked the best. And there was some friends came from Germany, and they videoed when they were visiting. And there's a picture. There was like a little bit of video of me walking up to my mum because we'd just been on a boat. On a rowing boat, and I was telling her about it, and I just thought, oh my God, Karen, what were you thinking? But it got taped over by mistake, so it doesn't exist anymore, which I'm so glad about.
A mistake.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about shell suits, and Sue's just said turquoise and white shell tracksuit. I just thought that was the best back then, though.
I never had one of those, and I've sold countless things, in the last few years of that kind of thing. The main fashion faux pas for me weren't in the 80s, because obviously I was old enough to decide what I wore, and I wouldn't wear anything that that wasn't what I wanted. But the 70s stuff, the horrors, the family things that I was forced to wear, honestly, the evidence of that will give you nightmares. Dresses and things with frills on, it's like just not me at all.
Yeah.
Someone's saying they collected rubbers. I used to collect rubbers as well.
I did as well.
Badges.
Yeah.
Rubbers, badges, and key rings.
The rubbers used to like the rubbers that smelled of things as well.
Yeah.
Those.
No.
Yeah. Michelle's just said my nan used to lay on the bed to do up her brightly coloured jeans.
Yep.
Oh, the mind boggles. Leg warmers. I did love my leg warmers, but I was really into dance. So yeah.
You were allowed then.
I've still got some leg warmers upstairs. They're not the original ones, but I do.
Oh.
Can you remember them coats? Was the Parkers that used to zip up and they come out like that? The hood.
Yeah.
Was they Parkers?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like I Killed Kenny ones.
Yeah.
They killed Kenny.
Couldn't see to the side. It's like having blinkers on.
And they were like orange on the inside.
Yeah.
Jumpers made on knitting machines. Yeah, my nan did a bit of that.
Stuff your family made for you that was incredibly skillful, but was just off in terms of what you actually wanted to wear and in the wrong materials. I always had a thing as a kid that I didn't like wearing nylon, and it was right in the Bri nylon age, when everyone thought nylon was the best thing ever, and it was just horrific. And I always had a problem with static electricity, so it's like my hair would be like that.
Hang on.
Oh,
I'm just laughing at Sue's comment.
Oh.
Cute.
I think it was quite itchy.
Yeah, some of the fabrics from back then were, especially that's probably more sort of 70s, early 80s, but some of the fabrics were horrific. Yes.
Sue just made me laugh. When I had my jeans on, if I dropped to 10, I'd have to let it go.
Jelly
Anything-
bean shoes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the blisters I had from them things. And your little towels, you had to pop out one of the holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plastic, really bad for your feet.
And those bags as well.
And
Those
the bags,
plastic
yeah.
bags. I had one of those
Had one of those.
with all the holes in.
Yeah, I loved it. Anything vintage seller? Who was your favourite film star in the 80s?
Ooh.
Michael J. Fox for me. I absolutely loved Secret of My Success. I think I watched that film about 50 times.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked Eddie Murphy
Mm.
from the 80s. I
Yeah.
thought some of its Trading Places and all them coming to America. That was 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Harrison Ford in the early days.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, but not majorly, you know, just
Yeah. I think it was Rob Lowe for me. That's just killed the conversation.
just looking at the chat there. There's a lot going on there. Everything would fall out of them. I'm trying to work out what that was related to, Badwolf.
The plastic bags with all the holes in.
Oh right, yes.
Karen said all the Brat Pack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did love the Brat Pack movies. Okay. So favorite thing in 80s culture. So like we can put in artists, designers, books. I was just basically trying to throw the rest of it in, really. Oh, Rob Lowe is so beautiful, Joan. I do agree. I mean, how is that man in his 50s?
I know.
Yeah. Sue Erin loved Emilio Estevez. Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So any like favorite, well, Heather, would you say Vivienne Westwood was up there with one of your favorite 80s designers?
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of amazing stuff coming out in the 80s. Not all of it I appreciated at the time. Some of it more with the benefit of hindsight. And well, that's actually quite good. Grace Jones, I have to mention as being one of my all-time inspirational, amazing women. And everyone thought she was nuts, and she wasn't. She was just herself, and beautifully so.
I was
So,
terrified. I thought she was terrifying.
She is a bit nuts, Heather. Come on, you've got to admit it.
She
A little bit.
played up to that, but I think actually she's a lot more sane than she lets on.
Yeah. So did anyone have any sort of standout kind of like art that they enjoyed, or books or stuff? Or were we all just a bit too young to really appreciate that kind of thing?
Yeah, it was all Lamborghinis on my wall. Remember them pictures?
Yeah.
The Lamborghini pictures. No real art.
Yeah.
I think it was then that I started reading. There was a big book series called The Clan of the Cave Bear, and I started reading that. And every few years she'd turn out another great tome, and I think there was about 6 of them in total, and it was over about 20 years. But I think they started in the 80s, and I really liked them. Really amazing books.
Thinking of art, it wasn't particularly art either, but it was something that was very very in the 80s. Were those, I can't remember the name of the company that did them, but do you remember like those pictures everybody seemed to have on their walls of women with like painted or illustrated women with like coloured hair and very pink backgrounds. I can't really. That might know what I'm talking about.
I know the kind of thing you mean. They were a bit like the Athena posters that were everywhere, where you get a very airbrush-looking lady with a cat or a tiger or something. There was all that imagery that went on, and the black and white photos. That was what everybody had towards the late 80s, like the man holding the baby, the New York skyline, all the arty black and white Parisian shots. They seem to be everywhere. Yeah.
And black ash furniture. just seemed to be in everybody's house at the time. That was my vision of my house when I grew up. I thought I was going to have like a dusky pink and black ash furniture style room. To be honest, I wouldn't mind that.
Well, I had a black and white bedroom. I think it might have been for my 12th or 13th birthday. I said I wanted a black and white bedroom. And my dad would not paint the walls bright white. So we ended up with like white with a hint of lavender, so it was like grey. But I had a whole wall of wardrobes and they were all painted gloss black, and all my posters were black and white. And I bought loads of black ash furniture secondhand to have in my bedroom. So
I had a black and white and gold bedroom.
Oh, did you?
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's stylish.
Yeah, it was fab.
Yeah.
And I had the ornaments. Can you remember the lady with a hat on, and she was posing with a dog, and you put your pens in it or something?
I think so, yeah.
Remember them? I remember them. Oh, it was just me then.
No, I think I remember
That's
them.
very 1930s Art Deco influenced, which of course
Yeah.
Daisy's remembering a classic book, Judy Blume, Hello God, It's Me, Margaret. I remember that was always out of the library. It was never in. You just literally had to wait until somebody, until you knew somebody that had it, and then you'd borrow it. And yeah,
I read Adrian Mole. I remember reading Adrian Mole diaries.
James says that your bedroom sounds like his office now.
Well, I had black and white polka dot curtains, and I had 2 massive posters of Keanu Reeves, black and white posters, and trying to think what else. I just wouldn't let anything in my bedroom unless it was black, white, or both.
God, my bedroom was a complete mess when I was not when I was a kid, but just before I left to go to university, because they'd moved into this house and my carpet was basically a patchwork made up of spare bits. It was just horrific. So I couldn't wait to get out and go and find my own space wherever it was. But I do remember the first time I shared a place with somebody that they had this very paisley wallpaper from the 70s that had got left there, and although it wasn't in the least bit fashionable, there was something I quite liked about it, so I left it.
Cool. Yeah, Marie says, Kelly, I live about an hour away from where you can take the Goonies tour.
Oh.
Darren would like that. He loves the Goonies film. It's one of his favourite films of all time.
Where's that then? Where would that be? In America, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think the name of the place. It was on the tip of my tongue there, and then I've lost it.
While you're thinking about it, Louise says Virginia Andrews books. I didn't read those, but I remember my mum had the whole set, and then they did, the whole TV adaptation of it and stuff. That was huge. Yeah, kind of like the art, like on the Rio album. That was a really in thing at the time. That's what I was talking about. Swatch watches. Yes, I had one of them.
I had a New Kids on the Block Swatch watch with the elastic, polka dot elastic strap, and then a picture of them, and there was no numbers, and everyone was like, how can you tell the time? I was like, I can.
Yeah. You didn't keep it though, did you?
I wish I had. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, mine was really boring. It was just a black one that you could just pop out. And I never bothered to buy a different strap for it. So it was just black and white. Trolls. Wasn't that 90s more?
Yeah, because my little sister liked the Trolls.
Yeah.
70s, and then they had a resurgence in the 90s, I think.
Okay. Well, I think that we need to probably wrap it up soon. We've been going an hour and 10 minutes. So a couple of things to mention. I haven't forgotten, Nick. Don't worry. I'll just recap in case anyone joined us later and doesn't know what's going on. But basically, this whole weekend, we are having a reselling YouTuber festival in aid of British Red Cross coronavirus response. We're raising money through a Just Giving page, which the link is below. So if you can spare anything, that'd be fantastic. Thank you so much in advance. But basically, it's like a festival over the weekend, loosely 80s themed, lots and lots of different reselling YouTubers taking part, different activities going on all over the weekend. We've actually got some live music from somebody.
Oh, brilliant.
We've got a DJ set from Lex tomorrow night. That's alternative 80s. And then I think somebody else is going to play some music as well. So we do have music over the weekend. We have some quizzes going on. Yeah, lots and lots of fun stuff. And at 4 o'clock, so after this one at 4 o'clock, if you go to Shel Staruni's YouTube channel, her husband and her daughters are doing an 80s lyric quiz. So that should be good fun. So yeah, and also if you want to see the rest of the lineup, it's on the Nick and Andrea Facebook page, and it's also on my Instagram. So go there and you can see what's on all over the weekend, so that you don't miss anything that you might want to catch. And the other thing that I want to say is that when is it tonight that Edward's doing? See, even I don't know what's on the lineup. Let me check. I think it's this evening. It might not be. It might be tomorrow. No, it was Edward's auction over on Antiques Arena at 5:30. Yeah, Nick's shouting at me now. Yes, 5:30 this afternoon, stroke evening. Edward is running an auction, and I've been told to tell you that within this auction, if I can read Nick's writing, because it looks like this, is jewelry. No, you'll have to tell me if I'm doing this wrong. Jewelry, trench art.
Yes.
Yeah, trench art.
Vintage Matchbox toys and saucy postcards.
Oh.
So if you fancy any of that and having a bid on any of that, then that's on Antiques Arena's channel at 5:30 this afternoon.
Oh, they're doing a late night Saturday 80s party as well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. Yeah,
I'm doing a
really
80s
good
movie quiz on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you for letting us know what your favourite things were about the 80s and joining in. It's been good fun, and I just still can't get over how fabulous you look, Kelly.
Thanks. If you tune in on Monday, my fringe will still be like this because it's got that much hairspray in it. I'm going to struggle to get it out.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for taking part. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.